for the 250th time, welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie, and I can't believe I can actually say that. This is episode 250 of Cocktails in the War Room. The little happy accident that started back on March 14th of 2020 when we decided to ride out the pandemic together here in the room of my house that has been called the War Room for 13 plus years and counting, where all of the military memorabilia from the generations of my family is, where I keep all the things I brought back from my trips overseas, and also where the bar is, which is why we picked this room to ride out the pandemic. So back on March 14th of 2020, we decided to start getting together. And originally it was just supposed to be me saying hi. Then everybody said, we're not doing anything. Come back tomorrow night. We did it 80 nights in a row. And then in June of 2020, we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast and turned Cocktails in the War Room into a weekly show. And this now is episode 250. And with me through almost all of them, barring the special events that we've done, is my co-host Wednesday, the Goth Pug. So for anybody that is new to Cocktails in the War Room, you got to let us know in the comments that it's your first time and where you're watching from. And also, if you go to the blog at mistresscarrie.com, scroll all the way to the first ever blog post, you are going to find the dictionary, which is dictionary, which is where you're going to find a glossary of all of the war room terms and inside jokes that will help you navigate, because we may talk about some memories tonight. Wednesday's right here, Jessica. Want to say hello to Carol, Elsa. What's up, Bish? He said, hair is on point. Did you get it done today? No, but thank you. Jessica says, hi, Wednesday, you cutie. What's up, James? I can't believe it's been 250 episodes. Kevin's joining us. Donna's here. Jonathan and Lisa are here. So as I was getting ready for Cocktails in the War Room, I wanted a big decision. You guys know what's the cocktail going to be, and that determines the glass. So after the Shinedown show, when I got gifted this amazing skull mason jar filled with blueberry cobbler moonshine, these are the really expensive crystal glasses. The thing weighs like 3 pounds. And I thought, I'm going to get some ice and I'm going to sip on a little blueberry cobbler moonshine tonight to celebrate the 250th episode. So the refrigerator here in the War Room that's kind of built into the wall is where I've been keeping the blueberry cobbler moonshine. Got myself a glass, grabbed the mason jar, sat down, hit go live on the show. And as I tried to open the blueberry cobbler moonshine, it just opened. I think because it was cold, it didn't want to open, but it just opened. I was about to have a panic attack that we weren't going to have a cocktail on the 250th episode of Cocktails in the War Room, which would have been a full-blown tragedy. So, hold on. It's a little syrupy. It's filled with fruit. I wanted to celebrate with you guys. One of the reasons why I didn't book a guest for tonight's show is that I wanted it to be about you guys. I wanted it to be about us and our relationship that we've developed. I thought about doing it live somewhere on location like we have done before. And just with me traveling to Vegas recently with everything that's going on, some of which the Backstage Pass holders know about, some stuff they don't even know about yet. It was just too much to try and take the show on the road tonight. So I wanted to thank you guys for sticking with me for 250 episodes. Cocktails in the War Room was a place that I came just to thank everybody for checking in on me and sending me messages after WAF got sold. And it turned into a support group. It turned into a launching pad for everything that we've done since. The fundraising, the charity volunteer events, launching the podcast, launching the website store, bringing in guests, being able to announce that I got back on the radio, announcing the Westwood One job, the Pike job, the Bone job. You guys have been this group that has told me, no matter what, we've got you and we're here for the long haul. And when I was setting up the show tonight and had to type 250 into the show, I couldn't believe it that we talk about it all the time, everything we've all gone through. Look at her. She's wagging her tail because she thinks she's going to get some of the moonshine. You're not getting the moonshine, but I do have things in my pocket for you. Just give me a minute. We always talk about everything that we've been through, right? When they announce another tour, that we spent so many nights here in the War Room, occasionally in MCHQ when we have technical difficulties. Sometimes I take you guys on deployment with me. Other times we've gotten together in person. But when I go through the website, when I go through social media, when I go through my photo albums and look at everything that's happened in the last 3.5 years, it's insane. And it all started here, and it all started with you guys. And I know Wednesday and I, we benefit from your generosity every week with the care packages and mail call, with all the amazing gifts and trinkets and cards and letters. I know that the Backstage Pass holders have seen it, but in MCHQ, there's a giant cork board on the wall. Every one of your letters, every one of your cards, I've kept every single one. Ow, that's not very nice. And they're all hanging on the wall in MCHQ. And sometimes late at night when I'm working and stressed and afraid that what I'm doing isn't right, or there aren't enough hours in the day to get it done, or that the business isn't going to continue to grow, I look up at that corkboard on the wall and I remind myself about how far we've already come together and how you guys have got my back and have been there for me. And it's so special that you guys, Wednesday, I'm trying to be sincere and you're being a pain. What are you doing? She's attacking the pillows. Why wouldn't she be? When I think about the fact that we've gone through all of this stuff together and know what we're working on for the future, it's crazy. So I'm glad I got the moonshine open because I was really starting to panic while the opening credits were rolling that I was going to be cocktailless on 250. Not going to happen. So to you guys, right, Wednesday? Can you thank them for all of the treats and all of the things that they've sent you and all of the presents? You guys are amazing. And you have talked me off of ledges. You've encouraged me when I needed it most. You've celebrated all of the amazing things. And you've handed me tissues when you know that I needed them. So thank you guys for everything. Here's to 250 more. Happy 250th episode. It's amazing. It's unreal. Whew, moonshine. God damn. Ugh. I'm so glad this week's podcast episode is produced already. Hey, Walter, get more pillows for Wednesday. Elsa, we don't need more pillows. Trust me. Right, Wednesday? Would you like a happy anniversary cookie? Would you like a cookie to celebrate 250 episodes? Can I have your paw? 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 Paw. Don't cheap out on the paw tonight. It's a big night. Down. Can I have a high five? High five. Good girl. Happy 250 episodes Wednesday. Good girl. Keith says, happy 250th, motherfuckers. Exactly. Good evening, Betty, Jessica, Michelle, Lou. Pants optional, says Eric. Trina says, hello to everybody. What's going on? Penny, give Wednesday more treats. Jessica, trust me, I have more in the pocket. Dave says, happy 200th. Thanks, Dave, from Florida. Let's see. We need each other right now more than ever. So, Penny, I'm assuming you're alluding to just everything that's been on the news. And I'm not going to get political, and we're not going to spend too much time talking about it tonight because it's so upsetting for me that I will burst into tears and not be able to handle it. What's been going on the last few days in Israel and in Gaza is so horrifying that I can't wrap my brain around it. And we've all seen this since 9/11, especially since 9/11, that we have been exposed to things that we never would have been exposed to before. Because before, something had to be caught on live television, or somebody had to a camera crew from the news channel had to be lucky enough to have a camera ready to go to be able to capture something. We're living in a world now where we can get HD video instantaneously from anybody, anywhere, all around the world. And when I think about the number of concerts and music festivals that I've been to over the years, hearing the stories about what happened at that music festival, hearing the family stories about their loved ones who have been killed, kidnapped, that they've seen on television, the story of the girl whose grandmother was murdered by terrorists, and they uploaded the video on the woman's Facebook page because they got a hold of her phone and it wasn't locked. And the family found out she was dead because they saw her murder on Facebook on her page. There are just too many stories. And the first things that I started to think about were obviously all of my Jewish friends that have family there in Israel. Then I started thinking about, and this is something we discuss in the War Room all the time, the things that our military members have seen in 20 years of war overseas, whether they're still in the service or not, to see images like this everywhere, because you can't get away from them. They're on social media, they're on the news, they're on magazine sites and newspaper sites, like wherever you're going, they're there. How this is affecting our veterans and military members and their loved ones who are watching 22 years later, possible war break out in real time on television. As somebody that has a loved one that's still active duty now, the idea that this could all start over again, the idea that this is the first thing that I did was message friends that I know have family in Israel and see how they're doing. And David Draymond from Disturbed has been very vocal because his family is from there. He has family there. Disturbed tours through Israel. It's been heartbreaking. And for the rest of us, regular Americans, we feel helpless. We are trying to figure out our own country and government, what role we play overseas, how we can help. It's just so much. And I found myself this week feeling helpless and just worried that humanity is just too far gone. Like the things that I'm seeing people celebrate online, the destruction, the terror, the violence, just all of it. I'm just hoping that we can find some way to get through all of this together, because it's so devastating for everyone in different ways. Obviously, the people that are missing their loved ones and finding out that they're gone, and for the Americans that have been killed and the Americans that are being held hostage right now. So many countries have people that were already killed and are being held hostage. And I just haven't even been able to wrap my brain around it. And having traveled overseas and seen what it's been like for our troops to try to combat this thing where it grows, and to see that all these years later, it's still happening. It's just so, thinking about you guys and what you've done for me and been this positive outlet for me on my best and worst days. You've seen me through my engagement and wedding. You've seen me through, my dad's passing and my mom's diagnosis. You've seen me through everything. And I just wish that there was more of what we have here everywhere else. And I know it's ridiculous. I put it up on John Lennon's birthday that, when he wrote Imagine, how many times has that been quoted? But just could really use a little positivity in the world right now because it's horrifying. I'm afraid to turn the TV on now. I'm afraid to click on a link for fear that I'm going to see something that my brain is not going to allow me to unsee. And also realizing how fortunate I am that I can make the choice about whether or not I click the link when there are so many people actually living through this endless nightmare. I know a lot of you, whether you be Jewish or Israeli, or you have family that's in Israel. I have so many Muslim friends that once again are seeing all of the wonderful things that they stand for be corrupted by people that don't speak for them or represent them. And just right now, I think we could all use a little bit more positivity and love in the world, in any way that you can find that. Just add a little bit more to it, because I find it hard to talk about on the radio. I just don't understand. And as somebody that really doesn't have, to my core, beliefs in any specific belief system or religion, I just can't imagine doing something like that in the name of God. I just, and it's not one religion over the other. Every religion has done something in the name of their God that has been horrifying since the beginning of humanity, which is part of the reason why I'm such a skeptic when it comes to all religions, because somehow it allows things to be rationalized that are not okay with me. And while I don't begrudge anyone for their religious beliefs, there's a lot of people being very vocally I don't even know the word, but criticizing one religion over the other. Meanwhile, the religion that they practice has shed plenty of blood itself. And I just can't imagine. I just can't. The whole fucking thing, I just don't understand it. And I don't know, maybe because I'm somebody that believes that life is short and precious, that I try to do everything I can to be the best person I can be while I'm here. Maybe if you don't believe that this is the end of your life, this life here, wherever we are on this spinning rock, and that you think you're benefiting in the next life by the shitty things you do in this life, I don't understand that at all. All I can hope is that if I'm wrong, I'll be forgiven for being wrong. But what I'm hoping for more is that all of them are completely wrong, and that a price will be paid somewhere if karma exists. Because I can't imagine, and we've seen it here in the US too, people that just go to a concert and are the victims of horrific, mind-numbing violence. And I don't mean to go off on a rant about it, but it's impossible to escape it right now. And the fact that we're together tonight for the 250th time, and every single one of us in the last 3.5 years has gone through something and come here looking for strength, support, to share bad news and good. You guys are always so amazing at, I watch the threads. Sometimes they go so fast, I can't keep up with the comments like they are right now. You guys are always so amazing about going off on these tangents to support somebody that comments that they're going through a hard time. And you guys wrap your arms around each other, that you congregate in private groups online and go to concerts and sit together and take selfies together, and started becoming friends outside of this space and are supporting each other and each other's families, and have gone to each other's houses and babysat each other's kids and helped fix each other's house. Like, it's, if all we can do is control what we can control, then I have to hold out hope that we are giving back a little bit of good in this world by getting together, and supporting each other here. And it feels like the smallest grain of sand on the beach ever when we're looking at what we're looking at online and on TV. But it's gotten me through the last few days, knowing that at least the littlest grain of sand on the beach, that we're taking that and we're changing that. And maybe if everybody else just tried to change their grain of sand, that maybe the whole beach eventually would be a lot more beautiful than it is right now, because things fucking suck for a lot of people right now. And there's a possibility that they could get worse, and I'm just sitting here hoping that it doesn't. And I just can't imagine going through what some of these families are going through right now. I just can't wrap my brain around watching young people celebrate the murder of babies. Watching people celebrate grandmothers being killed on video, and women that were just assaulted paraded through the streets. Like, what the fuck? If your religion celebrates that, I don't want any fucking part of it. I'd rather believe in nothing than that. I just can't. I just can't. I just can't. Group hug, bish. So I'm going to have one more drink, and then we're going to move on with the show, because I can't dwell in this. I've not slept well this week. Spent too many late nights up just watching everything, and then wondering why I can't go to bed, because these images are just stuck there and I can't. And then I think about all of the people that we talk about here in the War Room all the time, my loved ones, your loved ones included, that have seen this horror every day in uniform, deployed, dealing with this. Uncle Froggy, everybody, and how you process that. I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't fucking get it. Okay, I wanted to show you this. Maybe this will make you laugh. Last week in mail call, I got this for Fezzik. And I could not wait to go out and hook it all up. Had to do it during the day, waited for the rain to stop, had to disassemble half of Fezzik in the front yard. I think maybe some of my neighbors were hoping he was coming down because it scares the grandkids. But I had to run the new wires, clip the lights, do the whole thing, and then wait for it to get dark so I could take pictures. And Fezzik looks amazing. Now, Fezzik has a bunch of different colors to choose from. There's a setting where it flashes in and out of all of the different color LEDs that are available in his light rig. Then you can have it be stagnant red, stagnant purple, stagnant green, blue. I tried them all, and the red was kind of my favorite. So it doesn't change his eye colors. His eyes like blink and like follow you around and stuff. For some reason, Fezzik has blue eyes, which I don't understand. But the red light on him looks so good. So, oh my God, it's so amazing. So I wanted to show you guys the finished product since last week I opened him in mail call, but so happy about Fezzik. I mowed the lawn. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago? I don't know. I mowed the lawn and I had to like mow around all the headstones and stuff in the front yard and like all of the Halloween decor and just craziness. Backstage pass holders know this already. I can't give you too many details, but I wanted to show you guys. So this guy right here, that's Denny Doherty, who used to work with me at WAAF. He and some of his friends have written, are producing, directing, and starring in an independent horror film. And they asked Mike Shue and I to be in it. It's a stretch for me to play Mistress Carrie, a bitchy purple-haired radio DJ. Acting. I'm going to get an Oscar for this. I'm telling you guys right now. But I was like, yeah, of course. Like, it would be amazing. At first, I was like, well, am I going to get killed by the scary main character of the movie that I'm not going to talk about yet? Because I don't know if it's all out. And basically, no. I just am like a really bitchy person that Denny's character talks shit about behind my back. And they needed a studio. So I said, well, why don't we just film it in MCHQ? Which we did. So here's Denny. The vest is part of the show. The camera rigs us like filming in MCHQ. And if you look in this picture over here, right there, Wednesday snuck into the studio, climbed up on the couch in MCHQ and just sat there and watched the whole thing, which was hilarious. So I don't know when the movie's coming out. I can't tell you anything about it. I can't tell you the title. I can't tell you the horror character. I can't tell you anything. I just wanted you guys to know that this happened, and I will keep you updated. And when the movie is getting ready to come out and be screened and all of that, we'll get the guys to come in the war room so that they can tell us all about it. And I'll let you guys know where you can go and see it. But I thought it was really cool that a longtime friend of mine and coworker is working on this lifelong dream to write, star in, and produce their own horror film. And yeah, so there you go. So filming inside MCHQ for a movie, that was a first. Want to remind you guys that if you didn't know, I am back on the radio in a few different places. One of them is 100 FM The Pike in Worcester. You can listen to me every weekday afternoon. Go to pikefm.com, download the Pike app. And tomorrow night, speaking of other coworkers, Mike Shue and I are going to be at the annual Battle of the Bands at Polar Park. It's happening tomorrow night. Gate D opens at 5 o'clock. Music starts at 6. You can get tickets for just $10. It's up in the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. The bands, The Big Random, Riff Raff, Drive South, the Donnelly Road Band, and Midriff. There's links to check out all the bands up there as well. But this is happening tomorrow night. So if you're looking for something to do, forecast looks like it's going to be fine. You want to go and hear some local bands and some live music. The Battle of the Bands, second annual at Polar Park, happening tomorrow night. Doors at 5, music starts at 6, and it's all up on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Also, you can also listen to me on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine, and everywhere by downloading the Bone app. You can go to 1063 Rocks or 1063thebone.com. Download the Bone app, and you can listen anywhere. All right. If you're new to the War Room, we like to celebrate all things beverages, sometimes alcoholic, sometimes not, with cocktail recipes. And so we go through these books that I have here in the War Room, and I had a bookmark for the drink that I wanted to do tonight. And Now I can't find it. By the way, Wednesday came over. Like, she's like, there's something in this book. Is this the one? I think this is the one. I wanted to do something with champagne because it's our 250th episode. And while I'm not drinking champagne because there's this blueberry cobbler moonshine that is in a Skull mason jar that had to be consumed, I thought doing something with champagne would be good. I believe we've already done the champagne cocktail. This is the Champagne Cocktail Classic. It's an ounce of cognac, 1 white sugar cube, 4 dashes of bitters, chilled champagne, and a maraschino cherry. It says, in a champagne flute, soak the sugar cube in the bitters, pour in the cognac, fill it up with champagne, drop in the cherry, and serve. You can also obviously add more than one. It's the Champagne Cocktail Classic. I like more than one cherry in my drink. You could also obviously garnish it with, well, whatever. It's got cognac in it, maybe a little orange or something. But it's our 250th episode. So pop a bottle of bubbly, a little champagne cocktail in order. Right, Wednesday? Were you a good girl when they were filming the movie the other night? Were you hoping to get in the movie? Is that what you were hoping? Would you like another cookie because you're being so good? Yeah, you're being so good. It's unreal, like how well Wednesday is like in tune. The other night I was up late watching the news and she just came over and sat on my lap and like just laid with me. She's so good. Yeah. You're such a very good girl. Yeah, I know you're good. All right, let's talk about the podcast, shall we? Last week's episode, number 174, featured Stephen Richards from Taproot, who was the drummer in the band. He's now the singer of the band. He was always the songwriter in the band, and his story is kind of fascinating. He really went into some of the physical and emotional trauma from his life, a horrific motorcycle accident that happened on his front lawn when he was growing up, what happened to the band at the Blue Ridge Rock Festival, why they didn't perform, future of the band. They're going to be at Wally's the first week in November. They're also going to be down in New Bedford the first week in November. Both dates are up on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. But this is another band that I've just known for so long because of all of my time at WAAF. And so it was really good to be able to connect back with him again. And funny that it happened because they were bowling with fans because the Blue Ridge Rock Festival got canceled. And it just happened to be somebody that used to work at WAAF with me that was hanging out with those guys and was like, you guys should really reach out to Mistress Carrie and get on her podcast. So it's just crazy. So episode 174 of the Mistress Carrie podcast features Stephen Richards from Taproot, and episode 175. So not only are we hitting a milestone in the War Room, episode 250, but this week, episode 175. Now, while the War Room did 80 nights in a row and then became a weekly show, we have taken weeks off while I've been traveling. I've been sick. I've had technical problems. But the Mistress Carrie podcast has not missed a week in 175 weeks, which is crazy. And episode 175 features somebody that not only has been on the podcast before, but has also been on Cocktails in the War Room with us before. Mark LaBelle from Dirty Honey is back on the show. Now, the first time he came on the podcast was on episode 45 with John Notto, the guitar player who's from Maine. He also was on Cocktails in the War Room back in 2020, like in the early days of the War Room being a weekly show. And the guys from Dirty Honey are getting ready to release their new studio album, Can't Find the Breaks, on November 3rd. So I wanted to take the opportunity to get them back on the show. So Mark came on to talk about the new album. They've been playing shows opening up for Guns N' Roses. We talked about that. He goes on these solo long distance motorcycle rides, like out into the middle of nowhere. So we talked about that. We talked about the band kind of taking off to Australia to write songs for this record. We talked about where he spends his holidays and how there's no love lost for Tom Brady with him. We talked about that because Mark is a diehard Bucks fan. We talked about a lot of stuff. So you guys know how much I love the guys in Dirty Honey. I was there at the very early stages of the band's career, and to be able to see how well they're doing, playing in stadiums, opening up for Guns N' Roses, releasing a new album next month, was just really excited to get him back on the show. So episode 175 featuring Mark LaBelle from Dirty Honey goes live at midnight tonight. New episodes come out every Wednesday. And if you subscribe and follow the Mistress Carrie podcast, not only do you get the full-length episodes, but you also get the Sit Rep, which is Monday through Friday. And this contains music and entertainment news. It could be technology-based. It could be movie and streaming services-based. It could be your favorite bands, new releases, tour dates, all of that stuff. Bands that have broken up, bands that have gotten record deals, side projects, tours that are canceled, medical updates, podcast news. Like, it's all of that kind of stuff. The Sit Rep, Monday through Friday, it goes live in the middle of the night. So no matter how early you get up in the morning, it's there waiting for you, and it's right around 5 minutes long. So it's really not that big of a commitment to get caught up on everything that's going on and then get about the rest of your day. If you're looking for the Mistress Carrie podcast, it's available everywhere you get your podcasts. All the episodes are available on YouTube as audio, but available on YouTube. And of course, they're all available at mistresscarrie.com as well. And I was hoping that the 250th episode of Cocktails in the War Room was going to bring us 150th country, but it did not. So we are still holding strong at 149 countries that are listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast. But 149 countries is nothing to shake a stick at. So I'm pretty excited about that. If you're celebrating your birthday today on October 10th, you are in really good company. David Lee Roth from Van Halen celebrating his birthday. I believe David Lee Roth is 68 today. Sharon Osbourne is 71 today. Eric Martin from Mr. Big, Tanya Tucker, and legendary singer and songwriter John Prine were all born on October 10th. So if today's your birthday, happy birthday. Happy unbirthday, Keith. I wasn't going to forget you on our big anniversary. Bish says video is acting up. Is it better now? You guys keep commenting about my mom. This has been a rough week for Mom. She's not great. She's okay. But things are definitely progressing. Slowly, but they're progressing. My sister was there earlier this week. My mom's birthday is coming up this weekend. So I'm going to be there for her birthday. And yeah, my sister called and just said things weren't great. So just, thank you for asking. Unfortunately, her disease is progressing, but she's still with us. And I'm bringing her ice cream sandwiches for her birthday because they're her favorite. All right, some music headlines to get to. There's a lot of stuff going on in music right now, and a lot of new releases that are coming out this week. The Nirvana box set celebrating the 30th anniversary of In Utero comes out on the 27th. Still waiting for Bring Me the Horizon to announce when they're going to be releasing their new album. They delayed it so that they can put the finishing touches on it. Ollie Sykes said that he's just not willing to release it until it's perfect. The Osbournes Family Podcast is back, and we are learning a lot. The new episodes come out on Tuesdays. We learned that Ozzy had his fourth and final spinal surgery, that he's planning after the new year to go into the studio and record what is going to be his last solo album, that he's planning on touring on that album next summer, or at least playing shows. And also Sharon Osbourne, the birthday girl today, talking about the pact that her and Ozzy have, speaking of dementia, that they have plans if either one of them suffer from dementia, that the other one will bring them to Switzerland. There is a place there that where it's legal to do end of life, voluntary end of life services. And she basically said that her and Ozzy have that agreement, which is pretty powerful. It's a really controversial topic. There are places in the United States that have, the right to death legislation. There are a lot of people that are very vocally against it. But my stance on these kinds of things is always, if it's not you, it's not your business. And if it's not your loved ones, it's not your business. And as someone that has been the caretaker of someone with one of these very slow-moving, debilitating diseases that there is no cure for, my mom working in medicine for 50 years, I wonder if at the time of her diagnosis, something like that were legal, if she would have chosen that. We have very specific guidelines about her care and what she wanted and what she didn't want. But the right to die stuff is super controversial. But I watched a documentary about it, and I think it was during the pandemic, about people that are like suffering from these horrific cancers where they're just in pain all the time and medications don't take the pain away, and why those people don't have a right to make a decision about whether or not they want to live anymore. It's just, so for the Osbournes to talk about it, which they're obviously not afraid to talk about anything, is pretty powerful stuff. And it had people chirping all over Twitter and, whatever. We're getting the return of Blink-182 next Friday as well. Lots of new releases coming for this week. I got a whole list of them coming up. Big news when it comes to shows. This weekend, Queen and Adam Lambert rolling into the TD Garden. The 15th is sold out. 16th still has tickets. Depeche Mode on Halloween. They're going to be at the TD Garden. Tool is going to be there November 15th. And Aerosmith, because Steven Tyler is still recovering from a fractured trachea, which I can't stop talking about it because I just don't understand how you fracture your trachea. They have not rescheduled New Year's Eve at the Garden for Aerosmith yet, but they are going to reschedule all the dates. I think they're just waiting to find out how long it's going to take Steven Tyler to recover. At Big Night Live, Thrice is going to be there tomorrow night. The Darkness on the 17th, Mammoth WVH and Nita Strauss on November 15th, and From Ashes to New on November 22nd. Let's see. This makes me so sad. This makes me want to eat soup and wear a beanie and a hoodie and sit in front of the fire because this means winter's coming. Just not ready. Not ready at all. Tool is also going to be at the SNHU Arena November 13th, at Mohegan on November 10th and 11th. Godsmack just before Halloween at the SNHU Arena. They better do an unbelievable version of Voodoo and Vampires at this show because reasons. Chris Shiflett, by the way, his solo album is coming out next Friday. We'll talk more about that next week. Trans-Siberian Orchestra shows are all on sale. 2 shows at the SNHU Arena, 2 shows at the DCU, 2 shows at Mohegan. They are all on sale. I wanted to call your attention to the Des Rock show up here that we were talking about. Des Rocks is going to be at Sinclair in Cambridge. I know it's a Monday, November 20th, but the bands that are touring with Des Rocks, Starbenders and Christopher Shane, are 2 of the bands that I just saw at those showcases in Vegas. Starbenders is the band that everybody said looked like Britney Fox. The drummer's a woman, the singer's a woman. They were great, and the 80s are back. And Christopher Shane is the one that had the shotgun mic stand. So if you go back and look at my pictures that I posted while I was in Vegas, those are the bands that are opening up for Des Rocks. So if you want to go see Des Rocks, the bands that are opening for them are great as well. The Zombies coming to the Cabot on the 26th. Of course, just talking to those guys, Colin Blunstrom, like, what? Bush announced they're going to be with Bad Wolves and Eva Under Fire. That is going to be in Providence at the Providence Performing Arts Center on November 21st. And those tickets are all on sale right now as well. Let's see. Palladium Dragon Force is coming up on November 4th. Those tickets are on sale right now as well. The MGM Music Hall at Fenway coming up on Saturday night. 3 Days Grace and Chevelle. That's on the 14th. Motionless in White on the 29th. Porno for Pyros was supposed to be there on the 30th, and they postponed that entire tour because Perry Farrell and the band are working on new music. I have got tickets to 3 Days Grace and Chevelle for the War Room. So don't go anywhere, because before the end of the show, I'll tell you guys how to get them. Let's see. What else did I want to tell you guys about? Is she on the back of the couch? What are you doing back there? What are you doing back there? You want to be in the shot, so you're sitting on the back of the couch because I didn't put the pug cam on? Is that what you're doing back there? You're squishing my cushions. Get down. You can't sit there. Yes. All right, fine. Sit. I'll put your camera back on. Really? House of Blues. The Breeders are there on the 24th. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening is there on November 26th. Is that what you want? You want the pug cam back on? Do you feel better now? Can I have a paw? Can I have the other paw? Yes, I got that paw. High five. Down. Good girl. So freaking spoiled. Let's see. Where were we before we were rudely interrupted by Wednesday climbing on the sofa? House of Blues, you guys saw that already. New releases this week. New releases come out on Fridays. Beartooth has their new album, The Surface, coming out on Friday, which has a cameo appearance from Hardy. Churches, The Bones of What You Believe, the 10th anniversary edition coming out. Crosses, which is Chino Moreno from Deftones' other project. Good Night, God Bless, I Love You, Delete. Their new album comes out this Friday. Lynyrd Skynyrd, 50, comes out this Friday. The Dark Side of the Moon 50th anniversary remastered version comes out this Friday. We're living in a world where Ringo Starr is releasing a new EP called Rewind Forward, and we're getting ready next week to get a new Rolling Stones album. Like, what freaking decade is this? Also, Whitesnake, commemorating the 50th anniversary of David Coverdale's time in Deep Purple. They're releasing the Purple album, the special gold edition. So all of this stuff is coming out on Friday. And there's always a link to a list of the new releases in the Sit Rep show notes as well. If you want to go see 3 Days Grace and Chevelle this Saturday night at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway, from time to time, I do give you the chance. And because it's our 250th episode, I wanted to make sure that I brought in an offering of some free concert tickets. So if you want to go see 3 Days Grace and Chevelle at the MGM this Saturday night, go to mistresscarrie.com, click the message the studio button, put Chevelle into the subject line. Make sure I've got your full name, your email address, and I will hook you up with free tickets to the show on Saturday night while supplies last. First come, first serve. So, yeah, Donna, exactly. Her camera wasn't on. She's waiting for mail call. Exactly. Carrie, I'm closing in on 500 miles for the year this month. That's unbelievable. Christine says Jelly Roll is playing this weekend in Florida. Christine, you're going to have an absolute blast. The show's amazing. Let's see. Yeah, she's looking through the stuff for mail call. Cool video of Jelly Roll giving a veteran free tickets to the show. He's such a class act. He is 100% a class act. He's such a sweetheart. So if you want tickets this weekend, 3 Days Grace and Chevelle at the MGM Music Hall on the 14th, go to mistresscarrie.com, click the message the studio button, put Chevelle in the subject, give me your full name and your email address. And when the show's over tonight, I will start sending out free tickets. Okay, mail call. Wednesday. You guys always have hilarious dog cards. Happy belated birthday. Sorry for the delay. Baker took some time off due to the warm weather. Enjoy like life. Live like someone left the gate open. Happy birthday. Love, Denise. Denise, the fact that it didn't arrive on my birthday but arrived on the 250th episode, just as amazing. So thank you. And I knew there was something from you in there because I could smell it. So first of all, Denise sent soft and chewy, spooktacular dog treats, graveyard bones treats for dogs. Is this what you were waiting? No, back up. Back up. You know the rules. Hold on, let me turn your camera on so you can have one of Denise's treats. So they look like Wednesday's normal treats, but they're little mini. They're like the bone in the Operation game. Would you like to have one of the nice treats that Denise sent you? Back up. There you go. Say thank you, Denise. She sent you cookies and Mummy cookies, too. She told me to be careful opening this because it was fragile. It's from France. Isn't that what they say in A Christmas Story? Fragile. So it's a cookie jar for her grandmother's cookies, which are right there. Yes. Denise, your grandmother has a special cookie jar in my house just for her Anna's Toast cookies. Oh my God, which smells so good. Oh. Hold on, there's a note. Fragile. Careful when pulling the bag out. Anything wrong with this, please let me know ASAP. Happy birthday. Enjoy. There's nothing wrong with it, Denise. It's perfect. You're amazing. I'm not even going to start digging out the cookies because I'm going to want to eat them because my mouth is literally, hold on. My mouth's watering. Donna says, I think it's Italian. Exactly. I'm so glad you guys get my movie quotes because the only other person that gets them all is my sister. Even my husband doesn't get them. All right, then I got this one. Hold on. There's a card in here. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Hold on, Wednesday. Says, thank you. The nice things you do are always appreciated. Thank you so much for your thoughtfulness. Dear Carrie, thank you so much for hooking me up with 3 days Grace tickets. I wanted to send you a little gift of appreciation. I'm also Italian on my mom's side. This is how we start our holidays. Enjoy, from Alicia. She says, pineapple Prosecco punch. She sent us a cocktail recipe. Yes. And it's made with Prosecco. Pineapple Prosecco punch. Fill your wine glass with Prosecco. Add a dash of pineapple mango juice. Freeze pineapple chunks in a Ziploc bag before drinking and use as ice cube. Serve chilled. So she sent me pineapple juice, pineapple mango juice. She sent me pineapple chunks to put in the freezer, and I don't even think she knows this because she is new to the war room. But La Marca Prosecco is my favorite. My sister and I have mimosas on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and this is what we make them out of. Not sponsored. I just really, really like it. So I don't know how you knew that this was my favorite, or maybe you didn't know it was my favorite, but it's my favorite. So thank you. And the fact that it showed up on our 250th episode is awesome. And I'm totally freezing those like the frozen pineapples, such a good idea, because then you don't have to water your drink down and you get a garnish, because we like to eat our cocktails here in the War Room. Thus, all of the blueberries floating around, which I've been told be really careful with the blueberries and the moonshine. Jessica says, we need someone to dress up as the Pink Bunny. You know I have the Pink Bunny outfit. I will bust it out again for you. I'm not afraid. Let's see. Yes, thank you, Alicia. You're amazing. Take them chunks out of the can before they go in the freezer. I know this. I took physics. I know what happens to things when they freeze. Is that made with orange juice? No, well, mimosas are made with orange juice, and we always put a little grenadine in it with extra maraschino cherries and an orange wedge because we're fancy. But I love the idea of pineapple mango juice with frozen pineapple chunks. So it's not a mimosa, and a Bellini is made with peach, right? So is there a word for pineapple mimosas? Or is that what it's called? Pineapple mimosas? I don't know. If you're ever near Quincy, there is a Purple House on Granite Street. The whole house is painted shades of purple. That sounds amazing. Watch out for the blueberries, Keith says. Carrie, we need the leg lamp. So I have the leg lamp ornament, and I also have the leg lamp nightlight that every Christmas I put the nightlight in the guest bathroom when people stay at the house, which is normally my sister for the holidays, so that there's a nightlight of the leg lamp in the bathroom. So A Christmas Story is fully represented here in the War Room or here at the house. So mail call. Thank you guys so much for sending me such amazing gifts, not only to celebrate my birthday, but also to celebrate our 250th anniversary. And because of that, not only did I want to give you guys 3 Days Grace and Chevelle tickets, but I also wanted to do something a little special for you guys, especially for the people that might be new, or maybe you haven't gotten your t-shirt yet. It's our 250th episode. And so now through Friday, you can get War Room t-shirts, the men's and women's War Room t-shirts for 25% off. Use the code word cocktails when you check out, and you will get 25% off Cocktails in the War Room t-shirts through Friday, because I wanted to give you guys a little bit of something else to thank you guys for being here with me the last 250 episodes. So the 3 Days Grace Chevelle tickets are up for grabs while supplies last, and you can get 25% off of your War Room t-shirts through the rest of the week with the code cocktails. Happy 250th anniversary, or 250th episode anniversary. 250th anniversary, we would all be very old. Don't go for the blueberries. Yeah, I know. They're brutal. You have to do the cranberry mimosas. Yeah, see, now the Cape Codder, the cranberry juice, vodka, lime, love. But cranberry juice with the champagne, oh, I'm not afraid of that. I'm into that, which is also like, yeah, you could put a little maraschino cherry in there or whatever. Yeah, that would be great. All right. I mentioned the Backstage Pass holders earlier. If you do not have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass yet, they are available. All you got to do is click the Patreon link at mistresscarrie.com. Wednesday, will you stop clawing at me? You're killing me. I can't push the buttons. Click the Patreon link at mistresscarrie.com, or just go to patreon.com/mistresscarrie. Getting a Backstage Pass gives you exclusive live streams, podcast interview questions, because you find out who's going to be on the podcast before anybody else. You get travel blog updates and find out all the behind the scenes stuff when I travel. You get early access to event information and tickets, exclusive concert ticket giveaways. So if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, right now you have access to Motionless in White tickets at the MGM Music Hall just in time for Halloween on October 29th. Details on the show are on the event calendar, but if you have a Backstage Pass and you want to go see Motionless in White, you can see them at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. I have got tickets for you guys, and if you have a Backstage Pass, you know how to get them. So, hold on. Do you hear that? Yeah. Because heaven forbid she be patient for the rest of the show. Bite it in the face, Wednesday. In the face. Get it. I told you guys, the toys you send her, she plays with them. All of them. All the time. Every night before I go to bed, I fill up the giant basket of all of her toys. And the next day, she pulls them all back out again. Yeah. Let's see. Carrie, Big Gig 3. Big Gig 3 is happening. I was told it's already being planned. I believe I know who the headliner is. You guys are going to be excited. Can't tell you. Can't even tell the Backstage Pass holders right now. Can't tell anybody. If it all comes through. I just heard what they were working on. I don't know for sure. Does she play with the pink bunny? Denise, she eats the face, and the pink bunny's like 6 times as big as she is, and she drags it around the house. And then she just leaves toys, and like she'll play with it, drag it somewhere, and then get bored and leave it. Like I haven't been able to get her to bring her toys back and put them away. And so you just find these random toys just everywhere around the house. But yes, she plays with all of them, especially if they crinkle, but all of them. Right? Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. You guys have seen her like grow up here in the War Room. I mean, she turned 5 in April. So like she was like barely 2 when we started the War Room, which is crazy. You should definitely wear that pink bunny costume on Halloween. Jessica, I have. I wear it on Christmas too. My mom bought it for me. My sister has the matching one. Has she torn her toys up yet? She does tear them up eventually, especially if she plays tug of war with another dog. Once she gets into the stuffing, she wants to pull it all out like every other dog. But for the most part, she doesn't rip them apart that often. She just likes the crinkles and she likes the squeaks. The squeakers usually die after a while, but the toys stay together. My puppies do the same thing. Let's see. What were you guys talking about? See, I got behind on the messages and now I don't know what show you guys are talking about. All right. So there, and she just left. She just like, I think she's going to get a drink or something. I don't know. So yeah, Backstage Passes, you guys know all about it. Want to remind you guys of all the places you can find me. I'm hoping an addition to this list soon. More on that later. TikTok, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Cameo, YouTube, Patreon. Plus the Mistress Carrie podcast accounts on IG and Threads as well. So there you go. There's all the places you can find me. New episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast going live at midnight tonight, featuring Mark LaBelle from Dirty Honey on episode 175. Yeah, she did turn 2 on the show and we had a birthday party for her. Exactly. That's how long it's been. By the way, that number 2 balloon was in the house for like months before it finally deflated. Mark says, much love, Carrie. Heading back to work, 11 p.m. comes quick. Can they fix a link to the dictionary? I had a hell of a time finding it. Yes, Mickey. Yeah, we need to like put the link somewhere. I thought if you clicked it, can you guys check this for me while you guys are sitting here right now? If you go to the Cocktails in the War Room page, is there not a link for the dictionary right there? If there isn't, that's where it's going because it just makes sense. But can you guys check that and let me know? Because I thought that we put a link for the dictionary on the Cocktails in the War Room page. I thought there was. If not, it'll be there tonight. Because we get things done around here, especially when we're drinking blueberry cobbler moonshine. I'm not going to want to get out of bed tomorrow. I'll tell you that right now. I could never find that dictionary. Yeah, check the Cocktails in the War Room page. It's under shows. There's the Sit Rep, the podcast, the radio show, and then there's a Cocktails in the War Room thing. Look at her. Drink it all down. I'm getting there, Jessica. There's no link on the Cocktails in the War Room page. It will be there after the show tonight. A link to the dictionary to make it easier for everybody to find. Yeah, that needs to happen. So my metal friend Mike is listening to you from Norway in Europe. What's up, Ralph's friend Mickey? Or Mike, sorry. Mickey's comment was above it. Hello in Norway. It's probably like 1 PM there or something. All right, guys. It's time to go. 175 episodes of the podcast, 250 episodes of Cocktails in the War Room. We've been through a lot. It's been an amazing ride, and it ain't stopping anytime soon. You guys are amazing. Thank you for 250 amazing episodes. Thank you for supporting the podcast, for spoiling that nugget rotten, for the delicious blueberry cobbler moonshine and the anise cookies and the Prosecco. You guys are amazing. Anytime I'm feeling down, I know you guys are going to be there to pick me back up again. So good night, guys. I will see you guys next week. 175 of the podcast. Someday it's not going to be confusing that everything's backwards. Goes live at midnight tonight. Don't forget, 3 days grace tickets. You got until they're gone. And the 25% discount on the Cocktails in the War Room t-shirts is good until Friday. All right. Good night, guys.